All right, next thing we're going to look at. Okay, so we have examples directory and we have GCP training. And let's say we want to copy examples directory into EJ's directory. Okay, when we try to do this, and it just told us to use -r, and when you say cp -r, it will just copy uh, all the folders, subfolders, and files under it. Okay, so we have only one file here, and I want to see the first 20 lines of this file. So this is kind of a big file, so if I have to see the contents of it, I'm gonna have to scroll all the way up to see those first 20 lines. But once again, it's Linux, and it has, unlike Notepad in Windows where you want to open it and all it shows you is the hourglass because the file is too big for the system to handle. Here, what you can do is just say, give me the first 20 lines of the file, and it's called head. Same way, you can see the last 20 or 50 lines of files. Using the tail command. If you don't specify anything, it's just going to show you the last 10 lines. Same thing with the head. Okay, now other thing we can do, let's say you want to see all the contents of this file, but you want to go little by little instead of just the whole thing getting dumped on you. So for that, the command is more, and now it's going to show you the file one page at a time. Okay, and you use spacebar to scroll through the file. If you use enter, is going to go one line at a time. So different Linux flavors have different ways of doing the same thing. So some Linux flavors has less. Okay, it doesn't have less. Let's see if it has PG. Okay, it has PG. So PG basically does the exact same thing. Now the only difference is here you use enter to go to the next page, while you use, well, the space bar I guess doesn't do anything. There might be more differences, but at this level we just want to know that part. Now on my Mac, I'm pretty sure I have less. Okay, so basically the less command is going to do the same thing. Do I have a file here? Okay, less test.tf, it doesn't have anything. Less t, there is no file. There is no readable file. Ah, there is alerts, the same file. So less alerts, and you can basically go the same way. And here the space is working, I guess the same thing. Okay, so basically these three commands, depending on what you have available, you're going to use it for paginating a file. Okay, now the next thing we're going to look at, invisible files. Yep, not even kidding. So guys, a lot of configuration files, you don't really want anybody touching them. And by configuration file, I mean, let's say you install Word. Okay, so the Word gets installed in word.doc, but this is almost every single software that you use. It's going to have a file with all the settings that are required for that program, and that is, let's say in this case, it's word.pad. Okay, this file is here, and now you want to get rid of that word.doc, but instead you got rid of the word.pad. And when this happens, word.doc doesn't have an initialization file, and so it's going to stop working. So, and I will show the actual real life examples, but here I'm just trying to illustrate the concept. So instead of creating word.par, we can create the file as .word.par. And what this does is, this file is not going to show up in regular ls-l. If you want to see that file, you have to use a flag. Well, you have to use ls-a, and it will show you the file that's invisible because it has a dot in the beginning. The logical folder dot that refers to the parent, and the logical folder dot that refers to the current directory. And let's come in here and do ls-la. Okay, so these files are all configuration files, and this one in particular is gsutil file, which has all our Google Cloud configurations. Well, it's a directory, so it's going to have a bunch of stuff in it. So this is all inside that file, and these are of course very important files, so we don't want anybody having access to these. Or, well, somebody, if they can come here, they have access to it, but this way they don't accidentally delete those files. Okay, so that is ls-la. Once again, I'm going to go inside that file, cd videos and examples. All right, so this file alerts, now we know the size is 62154, correct? Now that's a text file, and I want to know how many words are in that file. This is never going to happen, but that's the command. So wc command gives you the number of words in that file, and actually it's giving more stuff, and I have no idea what that is. So now actually I'm curious. Okay, anyways, before we go to that, wc-l is what you would almost always use, and what it gives is the number of lines in that file by using wc-l. By the way, in Linux, the help, or any Unix flavor, the help is accessed by man keyword. So man wc, man dir, man whichever command you want to will provide the help that you need. So wc prints new line, word, and byte counts. Okay, so the first is new line. So how many line end characters are in that file, how many words are in that file, and how many bytes are in that file. Does it do on all flavors? Let's see. wc alerts. Does it here too? Well, like I said, I'm don't see any person in his right mind counting the words in a file, but if you have that requirement, then you have the option to use just wc, but you'll almost always use wc-l, and which gives you the count of lines in a file. So guys, the du-h and df-h I included here, but I'm not going to cover them here. I started recording the video, but there are some concepts that you need to be clear before we can get into these commands. All right, see you in the next lecture.